Jack was a confused man. He wandered this great land looking for answers. He found those answers among the natives of this land. Could Jack be honest with himself about the nature of the foreign takeover done by his own people? Could these Indians really hold the key to what he was seeking? Jack wandered north. He met a band of Indians who revered nature, the stars, the sun, and the moon. Were they hostile? Sure. Untrusting? Sure. But through careful, delicate maneuvering, these Indians began to open up. More than just words. They opened up their minds, their hearts, and the bodies of their enemies, each dripping piece of fat, muscle, and skin, either eaten raw or filleted and cooked precisely over a fire much like this one. Was Jack home? Was this what he had sought? Was the animal inside him content to be what it was always meant to be? What was Jack?
I'm going to roll a 1d4 real quick. Okay. So, Scott and Dr. Kimble, you two begin the walk in the blistering heat. It's starting to get hot. You think it's got to be about 90 degrees at this point. And you walk along the side of the highway, and you both reach the cemetery.
I think we talk a little bit on the way, if that's okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
Take it
yeah,
away.
definitely.
Go ahead.
No, out of everyone, Scott is most willing to talk to Kimble.
Mm-hmm.
Go for it.
So what's your expertise? How do you want to approach this situation?
Well, my idea is we present ourselves as professors of University of Wichita. We're doing a survey here, a historic survey on the settlement of Kansas, looking for the oldest graves possible. Specifically, we're looking for the first times, European settlers came to this region and started establishing proper burials, not just, bodies in the ground wherever they lay.
Right. Okay. Do you think you'll be able to pull that off convincingly?
Well, once upon a time, I was a professor of history, UC Berkeley.
Oh, impressive. What made you leave that position, if you've left?
I'd say that'd be a human role for Rufus there.
It would actually.
All right.
Yeah, give me a human roll, Dr. Kimble.
That's a success at a nice 69 under
Nice.
72.
Nice, but not a crit like a lot of other shows. Sorry. But how does Scott react to that information? Are you trying to conceal that, or are you like, what does that look like?
So, yeah, I do noticeably tense when you ask, are you still there? No. Let's just say it was a personal matter that led to my leaving. And I no longer work in academia for the time being.
But also with that success, yeah, there's a tell. Like, there's a slight twitch at the corner of his mouth that you notice. He's definitely not telling you the full truth.
Does he look angry, is my question. Angry or hurt?
How do you look?
Yeah, because you didn't get a read on me in the car, but standing next to me now, you see that, first off, there is, I wouldn't quite call it shame, but definitely embarrassment at his current situation. And there is also a sense of rage and also of entitlement.
You notice his fists tense up and become white-knuckled as this bit of the conversation goes on, Dr. Kimble. This seems to be a sore subject.
Touchy subject.
Yes.
Kimble just says, oh, well, sometimes we have to burn some bridges to build new ones. You're pretty young. I see no reason for you to flourish in academia or whatever other career path you choose. You're intelligent. You've got this.
Well, shit. I appreciate that, Doc, and
Just don't die on one of these missions.
haven't done it yet, although I guess that'd only make me 1 for 1.
Do you guys have anything else you want to talk about, or?
I just kind of looked at Rufus and say, by the way, that crack I made earlier about you being a shrink, I'm sorry. That was that wasn't called for.
It's okay. I find that our profession is going through a little bit of a tough spot. Not very popular anymore like we were 10, 20 years ago.
You'd think with all the head cases coming back, like G.I. Joe and our little bomb diffuser, you'd be doing gangbusters.
Well, not to say that we don't have a extensive client base, it's just that public perception seems to be shifting. That's what it is. New generations look at old generations and say, how could you do this? And when we grow, I suppose.
Well, I mean, you're not, strapping people in straitjackets and tossing them in a padded cell anymore.
He just doesn't respond to that.
Scott, roll me a human.
Success. Critical success. 33 under 51.
Yeah, you immediately get the sense that, like, you said that and he had just zero reaction to it. Like, I think usually if you make that kind of joke, somebody would be perturbed, even a little bit, even if they find it funny. Their initial reaction would be like, oh. He has no such response of revulsion. It's like you just said, oh, it's not like you're picking up post as a mailman.
You think your joke, Scott, it's a completely serious remark, and it's a completely serious thought and idea to Dr. Kimble.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think it comes to mind that, like, he did mention that he's worked with the group as somebody that comes
in the
in
past.
after missions and deals with agents afterwards. And I think that starts to seem maybe a bit more insidious than maybe you initially would have thought.
Yeah. So, picking up on that absolute lack of reaction, I'll kind of stop walking for a minute, look to Dr. Kimble, and I'll just kind of, tap my nose a bit and keep walking. If we're speaking in confidence, then.
So, we're going to cut the rest of the way to the cemetery. So, I want both of you to give me search rolls when you get into the cemetery.
Search? Yeah, you got
Both of you, yeah.
That's a
Ooh.
I rolled a 1
Hell yeah,
under
nice,
40.
brother.
Go, man. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
And that's another success. Not that it really matters. 45 over 60.
No. So, taking in the cemetery as a whole, Kimble, near the back, you spot immediately a tombstone that looks a little bit more weathered than the rest. And roll me a d4 and add that to your search.
Oh, hell yeah. That's a 3.
Very good. Very good.
You gotta get those crits, boys.
You see that, and you just start walking towards it. And Scott, you see him walking, like, with purpose, and you both head back in that direction. I'm going to cut away now to Vince.
Oh,
You've been dropped off at the corner of where Main Street just kind of intersects. It's a big intersection. What are you doing?
first of all, I'm just taking a look around. I know the fairgrounds are in the north. I'm just seeing where people I think could be local gather.
Yeah, so catty corner from you at the intersection, you see the Stafford Police Department as well from your current position. From what you see, there's only one police car there at the moment, but given the size of this town and the fact that, you know, you've pretty much driven through most of it already, it can't be a very big police force. Let's give me an N times 5.
N times 5. All right. That is a success with a 69 under 70. Hell
Nice.
Yeah, nice.
Nice!
Nice.
So you have, as part of your career as being an ATF explosive specialist, and thinking back to the seminar that you gave yesterday, you know, you've gone outside of Philadelphia before. You've gone to smaller towns, smaller police forces and whatnot, because a lot of traffickers do go through smaller towns because, you know, they think that there's less resources there, that the police aren't going to be as on top of things. So, I mean, you've kind of gotten a sense and a feel for how big a town of this size a police force could be. You think besides the police chief that was mentioned by Harley Haney, you think there might be 3 to 5 others? It's a very small police force. You also get the feeling that they're likely going to be, at the fair itself later in the evening, given the most amount of activities going to occur there with the rodeo going on and whatnot. So you take that into account. It's all businesses. There's like a cafe that you see. There's like another restaurant, but you're pretty much on the main thoroughfare, and everything else like off the main drag, so to speak, is just going to be houses and whatnot. There's a fair amount of people walking the sidewalks. I mean, it's a Saturday. You see 2 girls on rollerblades go by. You see a family out with their kid in a stroller and whatnot. You pick up idle chatter about the fair. Like, some people are just going about their business, but some people are talking about walking to the fair.
So I think not really seeing any big group of locals that isn't going to the fair. He's trying to also just walk up there and stay close enough where he can listen in, like drop into some conversations. And if he doesn't really hear anything, he just speeds up, passes the group, and gets onto the next one, slows down, keeps the pace with them. Not talking with them, but just in enough ear range to hear them.
Give me a luck roll.
All right. Luck. He is insanely lucky with a 2 under 50.
Yeah, so you're listening in on some conversations and whatnot. A lot of it is just idle chit-chatter. Some of it's just, gossip. A lot of it just doesn't really seem to matter or resonate. You do hear one conversation that is brought up about a Gulp and Go attendant. Basically, the conversation is like, hey, did you hear about what happened last night? Yeah, Bart told me that this and this happened. He had to turn over some sort of evidence to the police or whatever. It's like some teenagers and whatnot, right? The one who mentions this guy, Bart, by name, leans in closer and is like, I'm pretty sure, like, he made a copy, though, before, like, he was telling me, like, something weird happened last night. I mean, he said he didn't want to show me, though, because, like, he doesn't want to get in trouble. But, like, he said he saw something weird last night. What, and he didn't tell you? No. Like, he was just being weird about it, man. Like, it's Bart. You know how he is.
All right.
That's kind of the gist you hear before you have to keep walking to assume a natural walking pace and whatnot.
Gonna try to roll for stealth to listen in a bit longer and not make it look obvious.
Sure. Go ahead.
And that is a success for 30 out of 50.
Yeah, so you hang back a little bit, but you keep an eye on the 2 teenagers. And, you gradually begin to pick your pace back up. And you really hone in and you listen in on what they're saying. And the one kid who was asking, like, well, what did he see? He's like, are you sure he didn't tell you anything? He said he was too scared. Like, he said, like, what he saw freaked him out, right? Like, he said some dude got shot, but, like, something else happened, but he didn't want to tell me what it was. And that's all you get before they round a corner and they head towards, like, the more built-up areas where the houses are and whatnot. Like, they turn off of Main Street, basically, and cut through, like, a little alleyway. It would be very obvious if you were to follow them. So you keep walking past.
Okay, yeah, then I will stop. Right. Well, that's certainly weird.
I'll just say we know that Justin got shot.
Yeah, but this dude might have saw something.
Yeah, so he might have seen Justin get shot.
Exactly.
Eddie, you are driving the Ram Charger to the fairgrounds. You're getting into, like, houses at this point, but then you start to see the Ferris wheel first. You can also see that there is cars lined up on the streets for one, but also you make a right and you see a whole bunch of other cars parked on the grass. And you can see people parking in the grass, and you can see people getting out and walking back along the road to a little bit further north of the fairgrounds themselves. And you see people streaming into one particular entrance. But with the civilian parking lot where everybody else is parking, the Ferris wheel is quite close to you. The whole area is roped off. It kind of like goes around, but it's not like a huge, like you could easily climb over it and whatnot, right? If you wanted to. But you can see from where you are, you can see the Ferris wheel. You can see a bunch of bleachers. You can see an area that's clearly been sectioned off with dirt. And you can see that there are people like milling about in the bleachers. You can see people walking horses around in a circle and whatnot. Give me an alertness roll, actually, to see if you can see any more from currently from where you're at.
64.
Is that a success or?
That is a fail. It's over 60.
You can kind of see off in the distance beyond the dirt patch where you suspect this to be the rodeo grounds. You can see that there's like a white tent back there. That's like the big part of it, but you can't really see anything else beyond that because there actually, it looks like there's a lot of people that it seems to be covering up the entrance to this white tent. I mean, you can see everything else though around you. You see carnival rides and what looks like a baseball diamond a little bit more to the northeast of you. You see a couple of what look to be converted over stables. This looks like it was a farm at some point, this whole area, but it got converted over to be the fairgrounds at some point in time. So that's all you can really see from civilian parking. You would need to go inside the fairgrounds themselves to get a lay of the land, so to speak.
You said that people were going towards the north, or are they just going towards the rodeo?
So if you look at the map, you see where it says entrance. That's the entrance to the fair itself.
Oh, okay.
Yes. But you do see plenty of people moving around inside of the fair itself, like moving towards the rodeo grounds, moving towards like the converted over stables. You see people on carnival rides doing carnival games and everything. So what do you do when you enter in after paying the $5 fee?
Okay. I'd like to go to the Ferris wheel.
Okay. Do you want to ride the Ferris wheel or do you just want to look at it?
I would like to ride the Ferris wheel.
Okay. You wait in line. Doesn't take very long.
Eddie's obvious thought process is this is the highest point in this entire town.
It is.
So I could probably spot something.
Yeah, no, for sure. As you get into the Ferris wheel carriage and it begins to slowly go up and whatnot, and it crests and reaches the apex, and you get a pretty decent view all the way around of the surrounding area. It is flat. Give me an alertness roll.
No bonuses?
Yeah, plus 20 actually.
We didn't need it. 51
Nice.
under 80.
What are you looking for in particular? Where are you looking actually?
I'm looking towards the white tent.
Okay. So you look towards the white tent and you see folks going in and out of it. Some of them are carrying what look to be wooden crates. You see, even up high as you are, you can see people moving white plates in and out. Thinking back to what Harley told you about people on the rodeo circuit gambling, this looks like to be about as good a place as any that people would gamble.
Okay, so we got some legal gambling den right next to the rodeo grounds.
Out in the open to a degree, too, which also strikes you as a fairly strange.
Yeah, you think the county sheriff would know about that. Unless he's in on it, obviously. Where are the people with these crates going to?
They seem to be going around to, like, there's cattle pens you also see from up here. You also see that they are taking, like, the crates look like they may contain, like, food or alcohol. But you do see people moving between what looks to be... You see some booths that are set up a little bit to the north of the rodeo grounds, like between the carnival rides and what looks to be extra parking for people who are there with the fair. You do see a tent in particular. It sticks out amongst the greenery. There's a black tent in particular, open-faced and whatnot, and there's a truck that has a decent-sized motorhome kind of deal, but looks like the motorhome's been like retrofitted into a trailer for, you think, a rodeo star, but it's also black colored as well, and there's white lettering. But you can't really make it out from the distance you are at up here because the Ferris wheel's kind of cresting away. Like, you're still up high, but it's on the other side, cresting back down, so the details are not as in focus for you. Unless you want to roll an alertness at minus 20%.
May as well. 45 over 40.
No. You squint. Not only that, but the sun just is not... It's working against you, and you can't make out what the lettering is. But you do note that it's over by a bunch of other tents that you could likely surmise are like promotional tents or booths for the riders on the circuit. And eventually the Ferris wheel makes its way back down and you get off.
Eddie is gonna head over to the promo booths.
Yeah, so amongst the carnival rides, there's also the standard fare of, you take a baseball, you throw it at 3 bottles and whatnot. There's like the rifle shooting target gallery deal as well. So you walk over to the ACA's promotional booths, Eddie. You get closer. You're checking out the black tent, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of people who are crowded around all the tents, all the booths in particular, but the most are at the one for what you now see to be Spencer Dixon. And you can see in better detail, there's like a professionally done photograph of, just as Harley described, a man looking like a masked desperado with a bandana over his face, black cowboy hat, black shirt, black pants, a white shiny belt buckle though. That sticks out. He is called the Stalker. That name is there, Spencer the Stalker Dixon and whatnot. Give me an alertness roll.
Okay, so here's the alertness roll for that.
So with the 3 out of 50 that you rolled, what you actually are able to catch a glimpse of, you see, not only do you see people working the booth for Spencer Dixon, but as you're kind of walking the length of this promotional area,
I just want to say it was 3 out of 60. I just typed it wrong.
Okay, 3 out of 60, either or. As you're walking the length, you catch a glimpse, looking back towards the trailer. You think you see the man in question himself emerge from like a tent flap behind like the booth and enter his trailer and then close the door. That's Spencer. But you don't really see his face, but you could see him in his full getup, you know, to the T. Bandana, white belt buckle, all black, everything.
This guy has his getup on right now.
Yep.
I'm gonna go ahead and ask around real fast if the Stalker has gone out on the rodeo yet, or if he's coming out later.
So you would just know that the rodeo doesn't start till 8.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah. However, you do pick up another additional detail. You see 4 individuals standing out around the trailer, and they are wearing the garb of Midwest Fairtech Media. But the way that they're kind of standing around the trailer, you think that they look almost like bodyguards, but yet they don't really strike you as being particularly like bodyguards because they don't look jacked or built or anything like that. They just look like people who work for Midwest Fairtech Media. But they are just kind of standing around, and you see one of them look over at you, but then look back, and they're just kind of like looking around and whatnot.
Okay. And they're completely surrounding this guy's trailer.
At least the section of the trailer that's facing you. Yeah, they're just kind of milling about, talking, joking, laughing, but they also seem to be keeping an eye on the surroundings as well.
Can I approach this trailer from an angle where they wouldn't see me?
Ooh. You have stealth?
I think I do. Yeah.
Roll me a stealth roll, please.
Here's where I fail. 35 under 40.
Nice.
We'll get back to that. And we're going to go to Scott and Dr. Kimble now, back at the cemetery. So the two of you basically make a beeline for this grave. And Kimble, since you're the one who got the 1 earlier and you are able to see, you hone in on it. Like, you're one-track mind. So, like, you can see more of the details. Like, they just stick out to you more and whatnot. You do see that it's weathered over, but there is an etching of a birthday and a death date on it as well. As you get closer, you can make out the numbers more. The individual who had died here, they had lived a pretty long life. They were born in 1898, and they died earlier this year in 1988.
And it's already
from the elements. I
hell.
mean, some of the other graves around it also appear to be weathered a little bit. Not as much as this one, though.
Yeah. Maybe it was like a plot that they had bought before dying. Is the
It's
thought?
possible. Give me a let me.
Can I just ask?
I'm trying to have you
while
guys
you're
roll
thinking
something.
about that.
But yeah, go ahead.
Its location in the graveyard, like in the cemetery, is it off to the side, kind of? Like it's not in the middle of the cemetery. It's
Yeah,
more
it's not.
on the
It's not
outskirts.
completely on the outer perimeter, but it is like near it.
Okay.
Understood.
Just Dr. Kimble roll forensics, actually.
Okay. It's a 50-50 shot. It's a failure at an 87 over 50.
Best you can tell as to why this headstone is a little bit more worn down than the others may have something to do with just not only its positioning, but if it rains out here, this area might be a particular spot where the rain tends to collect, like in terms of the ground and whatnot. You also notice that the ground is like more sloped down water collects more in this area. That's about the best you can pick out of it, though.
Are there like any trees nearby, or does it look like it's just inopportunely really exposed to the elements?
Really exposed to the elements.
Okay. Yeah, he just takes note.
So from where you are with that one, looking around from your current position and whatnot, you look at the dates and the birth dates, the death dates of the other graves that you can see in the immediate area and whatnot. This is the only one that's like the oldest. A lot of them, that from what you can see, like some people were born in like the 1930s, 1940s, 1920s, 1910s. There's like one that was like in the 1910s and whatnot. Some are family, not many, but like some are just individuals who are buried here. But to both of you, you know, both of you being as smart as you are, nothing really kind of catches your eye. Like there's nothing like, there's no pattern. You don't think there's a rhyme or reason for the grave.
I'm curious, if I'm looking around, does it seem to be in a family plot or not really?
Not really, no.
Okay. So that would add to why it's maybe not maintained, is if family's not visiting, graves do kind of go to shit.
One thing, Doc. You might want to ask if there's a boot hill around here.
A what?
You know, old cowboy shit. People who die with their boots on. You know, either on the job or killed. That'd be an older grave. And if the ACA does have anything to do with it, then who knows? Looking around, does it look like there's any sort of like grave worker around here? Like just someone kind of making sure
There
no
is
one's...
a little house that you guys passed coming in. You didn't see anybody at the time as you walked by. You could go up and see.
Before we leave, I'll tear a page out of my notebook and do a... just kind of first making sure no one's looking. Press up against the gravestone we're at, just do a quick rubbing of it with my pencil.
I'll just stand, like, to block his body, basically, from any direction where somebody might be looking.
I'm not necessarily going to waste some of my film on this, but definitely want to make a rubbing of it.
Name is Terrence Gilman, by the way. You can kind of pick that out. Just some of the letters are faded. The etching of it and whatnot is a little faded, but you can pick out that it says Terrence Gilman. So, were you guys going to walk back into town?
I think we need to go see the person that's in charge of the gravesite.
Please check out the gravekeeper's shop. See, you know. I mean, you know, knowing our luck, he's probably at the festival.
Scott, roll me a luck roll.
Luck, you got it. Success, 50 on 50.
He's there.
All right.
He's there. Yeah. Shame that you got that crit success for something that is ultimately menial and trivial. But that's
right. Ultimately means nothing for me. Yeah, it's just always a coin flip.
Yeah. So there's an older gentleman there who looks to be in his 60s or 70s. You can see that there's now that you're closer to this little building, there's an air conditioning unit attached to it. There is, and also running along the highway, you know, there are like electrical wires, telephone poles, that whole sort of deal. So you think that's where this is coming from? Yeah. What do you do? Do you knock?
Absolutely, and I'll try to present myself as nicely as I can.
Okay. You knock on the door. You know he's a 60, 70-year-old man because there's a window on the door. He's kind of just sitting in a chair. And you rap on the glass, and he looks up, and he kind of screws his face up a little bit, and then he gets up, opens the door. Well, how can I help you, gentlemen?
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Dr. Scott Macallan. This is my colleague, Dr. Rufus Kimble. We're professors at the University of Wichita History Department. We're doing a survey on the settlement of the Kansas territory. We're going through some of the graves here, looking for some of the older markers. I just had a few questions if I could get a minute of your time.
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, not like I got anything else going on, and gonna be honest, I'd rather be in here than over at the fair with all those people.
Okay. Human on that, absolutely. What the hell does he mean by that?
No need to roll. He's an old man in a cushy, air-conditioned little hut in a cemetery. He's not a people person. But the talk of history, when you mentioned that, he perked up.
Okay.
Yeah, so what do you want to know?
Well, what we're really looking at is going through some of these older markers here, and we already went through, I hope you don't mind, but, of course, being as respectful as we can be. Looking for, for some of the earliest settlements, although we had a problem in some other places where the markers were so badly worn down we couldn't get anything from them. Do you know any plots around here where markers are worn down, but people still come by to visit every so often?
I saw you all come in, and I saw you like head over to that grave. But then I just thought, maybe they're paying respects to a long lost family heir or something. So I didn't really, But do you mean specifically here? Because that is the oldest grave that is in this cemetery. But I tell you, like the county employs me, and I haven't seen anybody.
You say it's the oldest. You mean as in, because we noticed that the gentleman there died this year. May he rest in peace. He lived a very long life, though. I'm looking for graves from perhaps the 1840s, 1830s. When the first European Americans came to this territory.
Let me roll, luck roll. He ponders and thinks, and he says, "No, I know. I think you're referring to like those, like they call them boot hills or whatever. But there wasn't ever really anything recorded out here in Stafford, unfortunately. Nothing, not that I know of, at least."
Understood.
Well then, on the topic of Mr. Gilman's plot over there, did you know the man?
No, I've lived here. I only came here fairly recently. I used to live in Great Bend, but wanted to move a little bit further south. Temperatures are a little bit fairer down here than they are up there.
Completely understand.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know anything about the circumstances of his death, or he has family in the area. I'm just curious because obviously the grave is positioned in a place where it gets barraged by the elements, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of the expected upkeep that would be on a grave of somebody that had died within the last year.
What are you trying to say?
Nothing about you. I'm saying family. There's no wreath. There's no... Typically you will find on newer graves that the family comes and will maintain the plot.
As far as I know about that Gilman fellow, he was the last of his heir and whatnot, and I don't know. I guess the county made a decision that he needed to go there, so they put him there.
Oh, I see.
Well, that's awfully decent of them.
You say it's the oldest plot. I mean, obviously he died this year, so... Is it just that he's the oldest member in this cemetery, firstborn?
I guess. I thought you... are you heirs of Mr. Gilman? Is that why you're asking?
No. We're just asking to...
I thought you were history people.
Yes. We're doing a survey on graves in Kansas, so it's good to know some basic things, especially about older graves in the area, even if it's not within our exact area that we're looking for. It's helpful to have an idea.
I'll nudge Rufus a little bit and just say, and besides too, if there are living heirs, that is valuable information. Even if it's not necessarily what you might call academically rigorous, oral history is a very valuable component of any historical research.
Absolutely.
I mean, I didn't know the man. I would say to go to the county clerk's office, but they probably aren't going to be open today. It's a Saturday, so
right, of course.
Well, it's good to know. We can come by.
Listen, gentlemen,
Monday.
I'm just an old man who the county hired to just make sure that people don't muck around with the graves and whatnot. He leans in. I really could give a shit. I have a nice, cushy, air-conditioned building. I just sit here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Wouldn't you want to take the easy money?
See, yeah. I was going to buy the whole just a curmudgeon who has an easy gig. I'm going to human that, though. Just...
Okay. Yeah.
Something
seems... There's something odd about...
Beyond the player
like,
thinks there's
you don't have
off.
to be a people person, but to not be a people person and be so comfortable in a graveyard, I think that takes a specific kind of person.
Oof. Nope. 86 out of 51.
Just a curmudgeon.
Just an old curmudgeon.
I'll do
Yep.
Human.
Yeah, go for it.
Read this man's
That's a
mind.
success. It is 64
Hey.
under 72.
The more and more this conversation has gone on, the more irritated this older man seems to become.
Oh, interesting. Like he's just an asshole, more so than...
He just wants us to fuck off,
Okay.
yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right. I think Kimble just takes note and it's like, well, thank you. We appreciate your help. We'll go bother the county clerk on Monday, I suppose.
Yeah. Hey, Check out the fair since you're here in town and whatnot. It's not my thing personally. Clearly, he gestures to his air-conditioned shack and says, everybody around these parts, though, at least in Kansas, they know Spencer Dixon.
Oh, quick question. I'm so sorry. It totally slipped my mind. Obviously, I know that you're the daytime attendant. Is there a nighttime attendant for this site that may have been here for longer that we could talk to as well?
Not really, no. We tend to just lock up when the time comes, when we close to the public and whatnot. I mean, there isn't really a lot of people who... The Stafford police, they drive by, and
right.
they do regular patrol routes up and down Highway 50 and whatnot. With their high-beamed flashlights and everything from their cars.
Well, and not like much is going to be going on in this area anyway, but I figured it was worth asking.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's understandable.
All right,
so
well, we appreciate your time.
Can I get back to my shack?
Absolutely.
Can I get back to it?
Thank you so much. Keep
Uh-huh.
cool.
Oh, I will. And he just closes.
Enjoy the AC.
He just closes the door.
Kimble just like sucks the air like through his teeth. Oh, unpleasant, gentlemen.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that this grave is not going to be left unperturbed.
Yeah, you and me both. That's odd.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just incredibly
And the fact they
convenient.
died this year.
Kimble just says, makes me wonder if the previously unearthed graves are also of people that have recently died.
But they said their graves were weathered to complete non-recognition.
Right, but if it's with such poor upkeep, they could be looking for recent bodies, or maybe it's just unidentifiable ones.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't see any reason to not take a body with an unweathered grave, if it doesn't matter.
Well, see, the tack I took is they were going for old graves, looking for, if not only for the fact that they were more anonymous, and looking for, say, other cowboys.
Yeah.
But no, this could throw a wrinkle in things. We need to keep an eye out here. And I show him the rubbing I made of the grave. This is all we got so far.
But it's something.
Well, it could be something and it could be nothing, but, well, you and I both know that the more fucky things are, the more we might be on the right track. Sun's fucking killing me. Let's get back into town.
Yeah, we got a long walk ahead of us. And then they sweatily march off.
Yeah.
We'll say you guys head towards the diner. Yeah. And now, Vince. So where would you be heading after hearing that conversation? Well, I mean, all this is going on at the same time, obviously, but where would your next destination be?
Probably just the fairgrounds, and on my way there, I figured the car would overtake me, but I'm still just strolling.
Yeah, eventually you do get to the fairgrounds. Are you going to enter in from the entrance?
Yeah, his quote-unquote plan is actually just to hop on the Ferris wheel, catch a ride, and see if he sees anything from up there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you wait in line for the Ferris wheel after paying the $5 entry fee. You get on the Ferris wheel and it begins to crest upwards. Give me an alertness roll.
There we go. That's a 17 under
Very good.
80.
So, much the same as I described to Eddie, you get a view of the white tent, right? And you see people moving crates in and out, occasionally, like not like constantly. Your eye also draws over towards the booths. You see like a decent sized crowd like standing out front of some of these tents and whatnot. You do see the trailer, the black colored trailer, the black colored tent with the white lettering. Give me another alertness roll minus 20% as the Ferris wheel is cresting down on the other side. Oh shit, very good.
Yeah, that's an even better success with a 4 under now 60.
Nice. Yeah. So you squint a little bit looking at the trailer, and you can make out that it's like stylized writing that says Spencer the Stalker Dixon on it. From what you can see from up here, though, you see what appears like it's like you don't see people as specks. You can't make out fine details, but you can still, what I'm trying to get at.
Mm-hmm.
You see a figure come out of the trailer dressed in what you think to be all black, and you see a person in what looks to be like cargo shorts and a blue t-shirt. They seem to talk to each other, and then that individual walks off, and just for funsies, give me, as you come back down, give me another alertness roll at minus 40%.
You just hate me because my alertness is this high. This is a failure. Now, 88 over
Crit failure.
40. Yeah, crit fail.
You're not alert in this particular instance. I will just say that I wanted to see if you would be able to spot Eddie, was really what that was for.
Fair.
So yeah, you get back to the bottom with the Ferris wheel, and where you plan to head from here?
Did I see where the dude with the cargo shorts went off? Like, I am now interested because you've told me, but why would Vince be interested? Why would he see exactly those two out of all of the, I don't know, hundreds of people here? Was there anything that, like, made him suspicious, or was there anything in that interaction that caught his eye?
It looks like something was passed between them.
Aha! There we go.
Law enforcement experience,
alright.
you can tell when some sort of exchange is being done, even though, like, you are an explosive specialist and whatnot, but I mean, you had to go through the whole, like, federal agent training, and then you would drill down into more specific areas after that, but you still had the training of a federal agent in the ATF.
Yeah, that's true.
So you can spot when a deal is going down, but you didn't see, he disappeared behind like a tent, and you didn't see where he went after that because the Ferris wheel was just coming back down.
Okay. I'm still gonna go into that direction. Check out, like, what's behind that tent. Is it just just like many booths or anything else of interest where he could have walked? Maybe I even spot him.
Give me another alertness roll at minus 20%.
No. Without the minus 20. It's 76 over now 60.
Yeah, so I'm still going to give you some details. There's just one other particular thing that you won't get. So you get closer to the promotional booths, and you see that there are more people crowded around the tent for Spencer Dixon, and you can see that there are 3 individuals wearing the Midwest Fairtech Media shirts standing by the trailer talking amongst themselves, but you can also just see that they are also seem to be alert, looking around. You can put together that being up on the Ferris wheel, that the person you saw talking to the man who was dressed up in all black, who you suspect to be Spencer Dixon, just given the trailer and everything, you suspect that maybe it was a Midwest Fairtech Media employee, but of course you don't see, you know, there's a bunch of those people around as well. But you do see 3 standing specifically by the trailer.
Okay.
And I want to cut back to Eddie, because you got that success on the stealth roll. So you find a way to circle around and get behind into, like, where the staff parking is and whatnot. But I want you to give me an alertness roll.
A lot of alertness rolls tonight. Success, 9 under 60.
So as you're kind of... Are you trying to come at it from, like, behind, like, where the staff parking is? Or, like, how are you trying to, like, see this trailer? Like, what are you trying to see?
I'm trying to take the long way around from where those people positioned outside the trailer were.
No, for sure. So you do that, and you do so successfully, and you get close to the trailer. I'm going to say you pick your way through the staff parking, and you move in such a way that you act like you belong there, right? But also, just to be safe, you kind of like are moving a little bit lower. And you, as you are approaching the back of the trailer, like from an angle and whatnot, you see Vince, but he doesn't see you at the moment. And you are... There's nobody on the back side here. Nobody's really looking at you. I mean, you're blended in with your all Americana shirt that you had acquired. So you fit in. There is a window on the one side of the trailer that you're at. And nobody's come around to say anything to you. Nobody has said anything to you. What do you do?
Is there anything nearby that I can try and stand on?
Give me a luck roll.
That is a critical success. 11.
Nice.
Oh, under 50.
Yeah. Sitting next to the truck, like the left rear wheel well, is a plastic bucket. You would get at like a hardware store pretty much.
All right. I'm going to move it over to the window.
There's no curtains that are covering this window, but I do want you to give me another stealth check.
Oh. Okay.
What the fuck?
40 critical
What
success.
the fuck?
Holy shit. Oh
a
my.
rare double crit. Holy
Yeah,
moly.
hey, on top of that, roll a d4 and add that to your stealth score. That's better than nothing.
Well,
Holy
we
shit.
got one.
Yeah, okay,
You,
so...
you rolled 3
My
times, and
God.
technically everything was a 1.
My God. Okay, so you don't... My next thing was going to be to have you roll alertness. You don't need to do that. You position the plastic bucket by the trailer in such a way that you can, like, stand up on it, and you're perfectly balanced. And you kind of, like, flatten yourself up against the back of it, and you, like, kind of using your peripheral vision, lean your head over to look through the window, and you see it's furnished on the inside, this trailer, and you see a man who you presumably has to be Spencer Dixon. He's sitting on some sort of chair, and he is in full garb. He's wearing a black cowboy hat, black shirt, the white belt buckle. It's a black short sleeve shirt, black pants, and black cowboy boots. And he's sitting there reading or scribbling in something. It looks like it's some sort of journal. There's writing on the back cover of it, but you would need to give me an alertness roll to see that.
Okay. That is a 16 under 61.
Very good. So the text you can make out on the back says Ancient Indian War Rituals. He seems to be sitting there scribbling in it, and he does have a mask over his face, like a bandana.
The hell?
That's part of his shtick, if you recall Haney saying that he stays in character.
I'm just going to observe and wait patiently
Okay, for how long do you think you'll do this?
until he starts to move out of view.
Yeah, so with that 1%, you are positioned on this bucket for a good maybe 3 to 5 minutes, and he just seems to be writing inside of this. It looks to be more of like a journal of some sort. Like it's not an actual book, but it looks like it's a journal. You see him turn it over and look at the front, and give me another alertness check so you can see the writing on the front of the cover of this.
38 under 61. We're on fire tonight.
Yeah. You're able to catch the wording on the front of that because he like looks at it quickly and then flips it back. But it says The Memoirs of Horseback Jack. And he like looks at it, flips to another page, and then he continues writing inside of it. And he does this for a little bit before he gets up, and you can feel the weight of the trailer shift as he like gets up and whatnot. He moves out of your sight, and you hear another door. It's not a door to the outside opening, but it feels like a door on the inside, like maybe he's going to the bathroom or something, or he's going into a bathroom. But it's not near you. It's not. You can't hear him like peeing on the other side of this wall. What do you do?
How big's this window?
It is not big enough for you to crawl into, if that's what you were asking.
That's what I was thinking. Okay. I don't know how much I want to push my luck, considering how good all those rolls were.
That is up to you, my friend. That is up to you.
Also, I'm not sure what to do. He's got a weird book. He's writing stuff down. He's taking a shit.
Maybe.
Also, he moved the trailer just from getting up. This guy's heavy as fuck. What the hell? It's a big ass trailer. Do I find that like strange or?
Do you?
I don't know.
I mean,
I've never
what does he
been
look
in a big ass trailer before. Is it like huge or is it like a mid-size, like as wide as a truck trailer?
It's like in between a mid-size and like a bigger RV kind of deal. It's big enough, it looks like, for him and maybe 1 or 2 other people to stay in.
Huh. Okay. Yeah, maybe not that odd then. I'm just trying to visualize it in my head.
Yeah, so as you are positioned on the bucket, trying to figure out your next move, he comes back into view, and he sits down back on this this chair inside the RV trailer. Give me another alertness roll. This time at minus 20%.
That is a 50 over 40.
You don't notice anything in this particular instance, but he does sit back down, and he appears to keep doodling inside of the Ancient Indian War Ritual Journal.
Did he wash his hands? Did I hear him flush?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll just continue waiting, I guess.
Okay.
If I get caught, I'm just fucking booking it, so.
Okay. After a point, he leans back in the chair, sets the book aside, and he tips his cowboy hat over his face, like he's appearing to take a nap or something.
This guy's just falling asleep in his chair.
He's taking a nap, from what you can see.
Huh. Okay. I'm gonna get off the bucket.
Okay. Yeah. You quietly get down off the bucket, you replace it and put it back next to the truck, and start making your way back through the staff parking back the way you came into the fairgrounds.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and meet up with Vince.
Okay. Vince, unless you are observing the stall, the promotional booths, unless you want to do something else in the fairgrounds, what would you be doing right now?
I mean, the last time he tried to follow the one worker, the dude, the fucking stalker, I don't remember his real name. It's a stalker. He passed something off to some dude who then vanished after one of those. Well, I said vanished, but I just lost sight of him.
Yeah.
After one of the tents, and I went back there to check. Didn't find him, so he's looking around to probably get something to drink and then go to the entrance to meet up with Eddie.
Yeah. What would you get to drink?
So I know that public drinking isn't allowed in the US. How is it on fairgrounds?
Oh God!
I would believe. Okay, so
No, I literally do not know.
So
I have no fucking
I
clue.
believe in a circumstance like this, so long as you have like a can of beer,
Intoxicated?
like you can. It's not good for him to be intoxicated, but like,
Oh yeah, obviously.
Like, this is a small American town. The rules are probably going to be a lot looser here than in any other place. So, like, we can say that while walking through the fairgrounds, you saw people drinking, like, Bud Light beer out of a can, for example. Stuff like that. But nothing like, not like hard liquor or anything like that. You don't see any indicators that people are drinking hard liquor out in public, but beer is fine.
Okay, he's going to try something by looking at the stands that sell alcohol.
Okay.
And he's gonna try to, like, maybe make out someone who could sell him hard liquor. He's not gonna get drunk. I have a plan. Don't judge me.
So, would you be over by the promotional booths, or would you be moving towards, like, the general area? Like, past the rodeo section, past the white tent, going back into, like, the general area?
Yeah, probably, like, the general area.
You see... So, the crates that you saw being moved in and out of the white tent while you're up on the Ferris wheel. Taking a look, you can see that there is, in fact, hard liquor being moved in and out of that tent, in those crates.
Okay, so I guess selling that shit here out in the open is probably not... Is that legal? Is it illegal? What is it? Is it a gray area?
It's usually if you have a permit, you could sell it at the fair. I'm just not sure if it's like liquor is something you could legally sell at a fair.
At fairs, it usually is not allowed for hard liquor. Now, of course, everyone does anyway. It's sort of an under-the-table thing.
You also notice, Vince, that there are some workers. There's at least one guy in, like, it looks like almost like a gray mechanic's jumpsuit. There's two of these guys, actually. And it says Eisenhart Transport on the coveralls, and they're kind of standing on either side of, like, the entrance to the tent, sort of watching people go in and out and whatnot. So, taking into account what Harley Haney told you about gambling, that you think this might be where that could be going down. So this area, you would think, given also your intelligence being what it is, your N times 5 score, you would think that this is probably where the gambling's going down and where the maybe more illegal things could be happening.
All right, okay. I think that's enough for him to know, and he's not gonna get anything then if he doesn't need to. Like, his point was trying to see if they sell him that under the counter to maybe use against them later as an alcohol, tobacco, firearms agent. Yeah, but if he sees all of this, I think that's enough for him, and he'll just be happy with
You know, as
himself.
an ATF agent, that there's definitely some illegal shit going on here, right? You know that for certain, but given what you're currently here for, you know, is that really so important?
Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, you never know. You could use that shit as a
never know.
distraction.
Very true. Very true. So, are you going to be moving back towards the entrance then?
Yeah, I think we
Okay.
didn't specify a meeting place, so I think entrance is the best.
Yeah, we'll say just for convenience sake that, Eddie, you're walking through the fairgrounds after getting back from the staff parking and whatnot, and we'll just have you meet back up. You're just moseying on through, soaking it all in. You know, there's kids screaming and running around. There's, you know, lots of laughter from different groups of teenagers and parents and all sorts of people. You know, like the atmosphere is fun and people are having a good time. You know, it's a fair. Like, you know, you got the different game sounds echoing through your ears. You got the smell of fried funnel cake, all that good stuff. And eventually you make it back towards the entrance, and off to the left you see Vince standing there, and you approach him.
Eddie's making his way through the crowd, and he gets an odd feeling, like there should be some sort of nostalgia, but there's just not. It's just this feeling that something's missing. He's kind of off-put by it, but he continues to the entrance.
Okay. And yeah, you see Vince, and you approach him.
Hey, it was Vince, right?
He nods. Yeah. Found anything? Anything useful?
Yeah, that stalker guy. I snooped out his trailer. I climbed on a bucket. I saw him writing in a journal. On the back cover it said Ancient Indian War Rituals, and on the front it said Memoirs of Horseback Jack.
Never heard of any of those. Doesn't seem like anything big. Maybe something to keep in mind. I've seen the guy passing off some sort of package to a fair worker. The view from the Ferris wheel is it's actually quite alright.
Yeah, Ferris wheels may be useful to scope out the place more if we want to look around. I don't know. I left when he was taking a nap.
I mean, middle of the day, big thing today in the evening going on, so yeah, kind of makes sense.
There's a lot of bodyguards around this trailer by the looks of it.
They're probably just rooting for him as their big seller, and they don't want him to get hurt now that his manager fucking died.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but I don't know, I can't shake the feeling that this guy's kind of fishy.
Which, also, the fact that the manager died last night and the show still seems to be going on regardless.
Yeah.
I access America.
Yeah, show must go on.
I mean, that's our primary suspect for now, I guess.
Yeah. The other thing I've seen is big white tent over there. There's one from the Eisenharts guarding every little entrance. I think there's probably some shit going down. They moved crates of hard liquor in there.
Nice.
We could maybe get that if we want to just fuck him over, but I don't think that's going to be super useful for now. Probably
Be nice to get a parting gift before I go back to New York.
I don't think they'll miss a bottle.
So, what's the plan?
He's gonna take a look at his watch. We wanted to meet up at 1:30 p.m.
It's getting close to that time.
I think we gotta meet up with the others. You parked here?
Yeah, normal parking lot.
Yeah, let's move. There's also one more thing while on the way here. I heard about a guy named Bart. Some, I don't know, gas station employee. And he's talking as he's moving. Apparently, like, some teenagers talked about him. He saw something weird last night. And they said he made a copy of the tape or something. And then he was pretty scared and freaked out. Like, he told him that some dude got shot. But it was something else that got him scared. At least that's what the teachers were saying. So maybe if we can find this gas station attendant, we can get some more information out of him.
Yeah, just show me where the place is.
Yeah, let's maybe check out where that fucking gas station is. But first of all, I think we gotta meet the others.
Yeah, so you guys hop back in the Ram Charger and you head back to the diner that you all had agreed to meet up at before you split up. And it's Jones Diner is what it's called. There's a Gulp and Go. Actually, it's right across from Jones Diner.
Oh.
You passed it on the way in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry, that was so me then.
That's okay.
Yeah, no, let's meet up with the others first.